positivity in a negative environment. Obey or else are often the words of dictators. I'm trying to recall if Jesus ever made commands in the form of a dictatorship. Can't really think of anywhere it said that. I know Hitler and Stalin did. Neither one had a good upbringing, and yet they were rulers of nations. Did Jesus ever bully anyone into his way of thinking? I certainly can't recall a time this happened. It's difficult to make progress and be positive when negativity is all around you. What's even worse is when we know the right plans to make and someone gives you a command that will interrupt them. Our theology can be very one-sided at times and often perspective shifting. The late great Selwyn Hughes gave some wonderful messages in his theological adventures. Nicky Gumbel really adds depth to scripture. Joyce Meyer helps us enjoy everyday life with the good word. And it is these people and their wonderful work that gives positivity in a negative environment. I hope that my work in these podcasts will perhaps allow the listeners to be encouraged and maybe even see a different perspective. If I offend anyone, then please be assured this is not my intention. And if I challenge any religious concepts, then I do so without malice. So how do we stay positive in a negative environment? The natural thing to do in any environment is to try and fit in, but if the environment is hostile, then we have no other option than to defend ourselves. Negative emotions can play havoc with us. Feelings of guilt, shame, remorse, they're often and amongst the most difficult to shake off. Worrying, that's a big drainer on energy. Doubt, anger, jealousy. We can potentially allow negative feelings to ruin our lives. After a while, negative emotions make us feel worthless, and positive things that do happen to us seem to us as if we're being perhaps tricked. If something good is happening now, then I'll probably have to pay the price later. Things that cannot be negative are surely things like prayer, scripture study, lighting a candle, going to church, singing a hymn. What negative impact can these things have on us? What are the negative things that we hear the enemy say to us? You're not good enough. Don't pray or meditate, it's a waste of time. You're going to have another bad day. No one likes you. Why bother? It will all go wrong. You can't be a good person. You always make a mess of things. You're not clever enough. Everyone will think you're a fool. You'll be the laughingstock. You won't make it. You won't recover. You're an idiot. It's not good enough. And if you try again, you'll fail. Well, the list goes on and on. On a physical level, we could say that these gremlins inside our brain, well, they tell you all the negative stuff. On a spiritual level, we could say it's the enemy. The enemy hates prayer. He hates any worship. And he becomes weak as a result of these actions. He will tell you that the bad things are good, to trick you, and the good things are bad. When the dark creeps in its subtle and crafty way, it is the enemy that creates negative energy. He makes us feel alone, even though we are in a world where everyone has to face him. He feeds on failure and depression. He can make every decision you make feel like it's the wrong one. He'll disguise himself to appear to be a friend too. He is powerful, but he's not as powerful as God. God and God's love can conquer this evil. If we don't pray and worship, then perhaps we don't recognize him when he does arrive. I've fell victim to the enemy many times, and I'm an easy target because he knows my weaknesses. With every step I take, he has a new method to trick me. It's exhausting and draining. So how do I remain positive in a negative environment? I ask God to protect me, to banish the enemy from my life, to free me from the enemy's restraints. I ask him to do the same for those I know and love too. Today's reading is from Psalm 38. O Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, nor discipline me in your wrath. For your arrows have sunk into me, and your hand has come down on me. There is no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There is no health in my bones because of my sin. For my iniquities have gone over my head. Like a heavy burden, they are too heavy for me. My wounds stink and fester because of my foolishness. I am utterly bowed down and prostrate. All the day I go about mourning. For my sides are filled with burning, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am feeble and crushed. I groan because of the tumult in my heart. O Lord, all my longing is before you. My sighing is not hidden from you. My heart throbs, my strength fails me, and the light of my eyes. It also has gone from me. My friends and companions stand aloof from my plague, and my nearest kin stand far off. Those who seek my life lay their snares. Those who seek my hurt speak of ruin, and meditate treachery all day long. But I am like a deaf man, I do not hear, like a mute man who does not open his mouth. I have become like a man who does not hear, and in whose mouth are no rebukes. But for you, O Lord, do I wait. It is you, O Lord my God, who will answer. For I said, only let them not rejoice over me, whose boast against me when my foot slips. For I am ready to fall, and my pain is ever before me. I confess my iniquity, and I am sorry for my sin. But my foes are vigorous, they are mighty, and many are those who hate me wrongfully. Those who render me evil for good accuse me because I follow after good. Do not forsake me, O Lord. O my God, be not far from me. Make haste to help me, O Lord, my salvation. This is of the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.